Hello dear students, wishing you a good day. I welcome you all to today's English class. So today children, we shall go to the new prose Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar written by Sri Ramaswamy Venkatraman. So before we start the prose, let's know about the author. Ramaswamy Venkatraman was a lawyer, an independence activist, and a politician who served as a union minister of a country, and he was the 8th president of India. Bhim Rao Ramji Ambedkar, popularly known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar, was born on 14th of April 1891 to Ramji Maloji Sakpal and Bhima Bai Murbadkar Sakpal. Dr. Ambedkar, he was a scholar, a social reformer and a leader of Dalits who dedicated his life to eradicate social inequality in India. He was a law minister of the government of India from 1947 to 51. He was one of the architects of the Indian Constitution. So children, let's read the prose. Listen carefully. I am going to explain it. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, written by Sri Ramaswamy Venkatraman. In the first paragraph, children, one trait which marked Baba Saheb during his student days and in fact throughout his life was that he was a voracious reader. He had an insatiable thirst for books. So, one trait, here trait means characteristic. The one characteristic which marked Baba Saheb during his student days, one characteristic that was found in his student days, not only in his student days but also throughout his life, that was that he was a voracious reader. Voracious means very eager for knowledge. Very eager for knowledge. He was an enthusiastic reader. He had an insatiable thirst for books. Insatiable means that which cannot be satisfied. Means he had a terrible, unsatisfying, in the sense, thirst for books. So he bought books by curtailing his daily needs. In New York, he is said to have purchased about 2,000 old books, and it is recorded that at the time of the second round table conference in London, he bought so many books that they had to be sent to India in 32 boxes. As we came to know that he was very eager for knowledge, he had a great thirst for books. Thus, what did he do? Dr. Ambedkar, he bought books by curtailing his daily needs. Curtailing means by reducing, by restricting, by not fulfilling his daily needs, he purchased the books. So here it's an evidence. Here it shows in New York he is said to have purchased how many books, children? 2,000 old books. When he had been to New York, he purchased there 2,000 old books. And it is also recorded that at the time of the second round table conference in London, when the second round table conference which was held in London, from there also he purchased many books that they had to be sent to India in how many boxes? 32 boxes. In the second paragraph, it is important to record here one major influence on Dr. Ambedkar. While in the USA, he was drawn to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the USA, which gave freedom to the black Americans. So here, one more thing is recorded, the major influence on Dr. Ambedkar. That means It is while in the USA. He was called to USA. Why he was called to the 14th Amendment? What is amendment? Is nothing but the changes of what? The Constitution of the USA. The 14th changes of the Constitution of USA. Who was called? Dr. Ambedkar. So what was the changes made there? In that changes, the freedom was given to the black Americans. So children, when we get a picture, when we speak about the Americans, yes, they are fair in complexion. So during that time, we see the existence of, there existed black Americans also. But they were not given equal freedom as the freedom was given to the fair Americans, white Americans. So here the changes was made where the freedom was given to the black Americans. So when Dr. Ambedkar was there, when he came to know, in the sense the freedom was given to black Americans, at once he saw at once the parallel situation of India for the depressed classes. At once he thought of the situation, the present situation, the parallel situation for the depressed classes in India. So children, on returning home, Baba Sahib came to be greatly influenced by the life and work of Mahatma Phule. So on returning home, so here Dr. Ambedkar, returning from USA to India, he came to be greatly influenced. He was greatly influenced by the life and work of Mahatma Phule. Who is Mahatma Phule? Jyotirao Govindarao Phule, known as Jyotiba Phule, was an Indian social activist, social reformer and a writer from Maharashtra. So, the work of Mahatma Phule towards the votary of a classless society and women's uplift. He was such a person who dedicated his life, themselves, to the upliftment of the classless society and women. The need as well as the feasibility to reform impressed itself on Baba Sahib's mind, and he decided to devote all his time and talents for the amelioration of his unprivileged brethren. There was the need, in the sense there was a need in order to bring equality among the people, as well as the feasibility means the desire, the wish to reform, to bring changes. It was impressed itself on Baba Sahib's mind, and thus he decided to devote all his time. Devote means he decided to render all his time on the talents of the amelioration. Amelioration means to make something better of his unprivileged brethren. Unprivileged, the people who were not enjoying the same rights and standard of living as the majority. And the brethren means the members of a group, in order to bring equality among the classless society and women. Upliftment of women. Thus, newspapers started by him. Here him refers to Dr. Ambedkar, such as Mukanayak, Bahishkrit Bharat and Samata. So, thus Dr. Ambedkar, he started newspapers. The three newspapers started by Dr. Ambedkar were Mukanayak, Bahishkrit Bharat and Samata, were at once recognized as authentic voices of the depressed classes. These newspapers were recognized as authentic voices, the real, the true voices of whom? Of depressed classes. Likewise, institutions set up by him, such as the Hitakarani Sabha and the Independent Labour Party of India, became vehicles of change. Not only he started the newspapers, but also he started institutions, which are those two, Hitakarani Sabha and the Independent Labour Party of India. These became the vehicles of change, to bring the changes. During the same period, Gandhiji was pioneering his epic reform of Indian society, which included the uplift of depressed classes whom Gandhiji had termed Harijans. Till now we only read about Mahatma Phule and Dr. Ambedkar, but now Gandhiji was also pioneering. He was adopting his new technique in order to bring reform in the Indian society, which also included the uplift of depressed classes. So these depressed classes were termed as Harijans by Gandhiji. Next we see in the third paragraph, Baba Saheb was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly in the elections under the Constitution of India Act 1935. In the year 1935, so Dr. Ambedkar was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly. So Baba Saheb made effective contributions to the debates in the assembly on a variety of subjects. So Dr. Ambedkar, he made effective contributions, great contributions, gave his good contributions to the debates in the assembly on variety of subjects. His flair for legislative work became evident to the whole nation. Seeing his talent, seeing the ability in him for the legislative work became evident, the proof to the whole nation. Soon, the Constituent Assembly of India afforded Dr. Ambedkar the opportunity to give the most notable and permanent shape to his social philosophy and to his undying faith in the dignity of human beings. So, soon the Constituent Assembly, seeing his talent, seeing his ability, seeing his work, the Constituent Assembly of India gave him the opportunity to give the most notable means most deserving and permanent shape to his social philosophy and to his undying faith in the dignity of human beings. So he was given a chance by the Constituent Assembly of India to give the permanent shape. Baba Saheb, at that time, Baba Saheb was not in the Congress, but it must be said to the credit of the far-sighted and objective leadership of the Indian National Congress that it requested Dr. Ambedkar to serve on the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and made him its chairman. During that time, Baba Saheb, Dr. Ambedkar, he was not in the Congress party. But it must be said to the credit of the far-sighted, the person who thinks about the future, thinking further and objective leadership of the Indian National Congress, that here Indian National Congress Party requested Dr. Ambedkar to serve on the drafting committee, to work on the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and made him its chairman. He became the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. In the fifth paragraph, as the chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. Ambedkar anticipated every conceivable requirement of the polity. Being the chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. Ambedkar anticipated, he came before, in the sense, he accepted all the thinkable requirement, conceivable, thinkable requirement of the new polity of the constitution, new polity, new constitution. How? By drawing from the examples and experience of the other nations and the distinctive needs of our own society, he raised brick by brick the magnificent edifice which now stands as the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. So, drawing from the examples, drawing means receiving the examples and experience of other nations. He did not frame his own laws, he did not frame his own rights or duties, but he took the examples from various nations, from many nations, other nations. Not only the examples, but also the experience of other nations and the distinctive needs, applying those examples, whether it will be good to our nation or not. By this, he raised brick by brick. Here, brick by brick. It is not referred to the construction of any building, to the construction of the Constitution of India. So he raised brick by brick the magnificent edifice. Such a system was formed by Dr. Ambedkar, which now stands as the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. There were, of course, other luminaries on the committee like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, K.M. Munshi and N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar. So there were, of course, other luminaries. Not only Dr. Ambedkar, he framed the constitution, but there were other wise persons like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, K. Munshi and N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, who also made vital contribution to the process of the constitution making. But if there is one person who will be remembered as the pilot of the various provisions of the Indian Constitution, it will be Dr. Ambedkar. There might be many people beside him, but the credit goes to Dr. Ambedkar. If there is one person who will be remembered as the pilot, yes children, here Dr. Ambedkar is referred as a pilot here. So what is the job of a pilot? So here a pilot, he takes the plane from ground to the sky. So here Dr. Ambedkar is referred as a pilot who lifted, in the sense who framed such a constitution raising. So he was called as a pilot of the various provisions of the Indian Constitution. The credit goes to Dr. Ambedkar as the pilot of the Indian Constitution. It devolved on Dr. Ambedkar to explain with a combination of tact and frankness and utmost patience the meaning and scope of the different provisions of the draft constitution. It devolved in the sense it was his responsibility. The responsibility was given to Dr. Ambedkar to explain with the combination of tact and frankness and utmost patience, frankly and with patience, to explain the meaning and scope of the different provisions of the draft constitution. To whom? To the assembly. It was his work to explain the new, in the sense, the different provisions of the drafting constitution to be explained to the assembly. It was the job, it was the work of given to Dr. Ambedkar. He had the rare gift of unraveling the most complicated legal concepts in a language which the layman understood. So he had a rare gift of unraveling. In the sense explaining. He had a rare gift of explaining the most complicated legal concepts in a language, simple language that even a layman understood. So Dr. Ambedkar, aided by the indefatigable constitution advisor B.N. Rao, performed this task matchlessly. So here Dr. Ambedkar was helped by indefatigable constitutional advisor. Who was he? B.N. Rao. In the 6th paragraph, Dr. Ambedkar had a clear perception of the mutuality of the three pillars of state: the legislature, the executive, the judiciary. So he had Dr. Ambedkar had a clear perception, the clear understanding. He had a clear understanding of the mutuality, the actions, names and actions of the three pillars, which are the three pillars of the state: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. He realized that the jurisdiction of each should be clear and untrammeled. At the same time, he had a sense of the importance of the role of citizens. So children, he realized that the jurisdiction, what is jurisdiction? The administration of each pillar of the state should be clear and untrammeled. Untrammeled means it should not be hampered or restricted, obstruct. So at that same time, he had a sense of the importance of the role of citizens. Not only he stressed with regarding to the rights, but also with regard to the role of the citizens. The following observation he made is significant. What is the observation made by Dr. Ambedkar? The first one, the Constitution is a fundamental document. It is a document which defines the position and power of the three organs of the state: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. So here, fundamental document is a document which defines the position and power. Okay, it is a document, the Constitution is a document which defines the position and power of the three organs of the state. So it also defines the powers of the executive and the powers of the legislature as against the citizens, as we have done in a chapter dealing with the fundamental rights. In fact, the purpose of a constitution is not merely to create the organs of the state, but to limit their authority. Because if no limitation was imposed upon the authority of the organs, there will be complete tyranny and complete oppression. Here Dr. Ambedkar says, in fact, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the formation of the constitution? The purpose of a constitution is not merely to create the organs, not only the thing to create the organs of the state, but to limit their authority, but to limit, put limit to the authority. Because if no limitation was enforced upon the authority of the organs, there will be complete tyranny, which means the cruel rule of the government, the oppressive rule of the government, and complete oppression. So children, I hope you understood the first part of the prose Dr. Ambedkar. Watch this video again and again until you understand. Thank you children.